Lingobazaar Quest is an interactive activity designed to engage students in translanguaging where they can use both their L1 and L2, which is English language, to complete tasks in a fun marketplace setting. Students move through various stalls, solving bilingual puzzles and communicating in both languages. This activity allows students to fluidly switch between languages, promoting language development, confidence, and inclusivity. By embracing their full linguistic abilities, students deepen their understanding and connection to both languages while celebrating their bilingualism in a dynamic and in a real-world context. So there are two objectives why we are carrying out the Lingobazaar activity. Firstly, this activity could enhance translanguaging skills. Students will practice fluidly switching between their L1 and English using both languages to complete tasks and communicate effectively in a real-world context. Secondly, this activity can also promote confidence and inclusivity. By incorporating students L1 alongside English, the activity fosters a sense of pride in their bilingualism, encouraging confidence and reducing language barriers.
Here is how the Lingobazaar quest works. Market setup. The classroom is transformed into a marketplace with 4 to 6 stations, each representing a different stall, such as a fruit shop, clothing store, or toy store. Each station is labeled bilingually to introduce vocabulary in both English and students' home languages. Secondly, students are divided into small teams, and each team receives a bilingual shopping list with tasks. The task requires students to explore the stalls, identify items, solve puzzles, and name objects in both languages. Seller interaction. At each station, a seller, a teacher or student interacts with the teams, guiding them in both English and their home languages. This creates opportunities for conversational practice and translanguaging. Next, rewards and role swap. Teams earn lingo coins for successfully completing tasks, which they can exchange for small prizes. After one round, students can switch roles and become sellers, helping their peers using both languages. Next, moving on to the key concepts of this activity, the Lingobazaar quest is built around the several key concepts. Firstly, translanguaging. The activity encourages the natural use of both English and students' home languages to communicate and complete tasks. Translanguaging helps reinforce vocabulary and bilingual fluency. Next, dual language scaffolding. Bilingual task cards and labels provide essential support, allowing students to understand and express concepts in both languages. Thirdly, code switching. Students naturally switch between languages to name objects, solve challenges, and interact with peers. This flexibility strengthens their ability to use both languages effectively. Cultural and linguistic inclusion. By incorporating home languages, the activity validates students' linguistic identities and promotes cultural appreciation. Next, interactive learning. The scavenger hunt format and role-playing make learning engaging and hands-on, fostering collaboration and creativity. Lastly, language confidence building. Low proficiency students use their home language as a foundation for understanding, gradually transitioning to English. This reduces anxiety and builds confidence.
Now, how does this activity relate to learning theories? Well, there is two learning theories that it relates to. The first one being behaviorism theory. Now, in this activity, the students will be repeating plenty of actions like saying the name of an object, asking and answering questions. Now, by doing these activities, they will be repeating certain phrases and like say, can I buy this object? Can you give me a discount? Can you give me a deal? can you tell me the cost of this object, which is crucial in the marketplace. Now, this knowledge will be a base for the students for other information that will be related to the marketplace and will be very useful for them in the future. Now, the second theory is socio-cultural theory. Now, in this activity, some groups may appoint a certain students that has better language skill to be the one who speaks most of the time. Now, these students will be a leader for their group, most likely talking to the stall owner most of the time. Now, by doing this, all of the other students can learn how to communicate better by example, by listening to how their leader actually communicate and following them to see how they can communicate better too.
Next, some problem might happen during the activity. One of the problem that can happen is a mistake by the stall caretakers. During the activity, some mistake might happen due to the stall caretaker knowingly giving the wrong item to the other groups in order to make them lose points. In order to prevent this, we can implement a point system for the stall as well as the students. To prevent the caretaker from knowingly giving wrong items to the other groups, their stall will also be marked. Stall will be awarded points for every correct item they provide to the buyer to combat cheating, as well as demerit if they were caught giving the wrong item knowingly. The next problem that might happen is that students might favor the use of only one language. Some students might find it easier for them to communicate with their peers in their native language and neglect the use of English language. To combat this, all stall caretakers are given instruction to ignore any team that does not speak in the right language on their station. This would prevent the groups from using the only one language, as they would be forced to use both languages to complete their task and get the correct item. In conclusion, Lingobazaar Quest is an interactive and fun activity that helps highlight the similarity between L1 and L2 to the students. By employing behaviorism and social culture theory, it helps students to improve their L2 by providing them the opportunity to practice in a simulated real-life situation.